from being bitten live on stage by a king cobra to being drowned by a whale. Here are 5 performers and musicians who died live on stage. Starting with French rising star Barbara Weldens. Barbara was a 35-year-old talented singer-songwriter whose career was just starting to blow up. Born in Hérault, France, Barbara grew up in a circus where she learned acrobatics, juggling and trapeze. But instead of sticking with the high-flying life, she found her true jam: music. She trained as a pianist and later hit the books at Paul Valéry University in Montpellier, diving deep into musicology in 2004. Fast forward to July 19th, 2017. Barbara's rocking the stage at the Léo Ferré Festival in Gourdon, France, performing tracks from her debut album, Le Grand Âge de l'Homme, which had just dropped a few months earlier, on February 3rd that same year. The album was fire and she was gaining serious clout across France. She hit the stage barefoot, not because she forgot her shoes, but because it made her feel more connected to her music, something she often did. Eyewitnesses say she was killing it. The crowd was vibing, standing ovation, the whole shebang. But then, out of nowhere, tragedy struck. Barbara reportedly stepped on some faulty electrical equipment. The shock was brutal, sending her into cardiac arrest right there on stage. She collapsed mid-performance, and despite paramedics rushing in to save her, Barbara was pronounced dead at the scene. And heartbreakingly, hers wasn't the only on-stage tragedy that year. Just a few months earlier, on May 1st, 2017, another beloved musician took his final bow, this time deep in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. Colonel Bruce Hampton, born Gustav Valentine Berglund III, was a straight-up legend in Southern rock. Hailing from Knoxville, Tennessee, Bruce mashed up rock, jazz, and wild off-the-wall improvisation like a mad scientist with a guitar. He led the Hampton Grease Band, kicked off the Aquarium Rescue Unit, and lit a fire under a whole generation of artists who'd go on to melt faces in their own right. Fast forward to May 1st, 2017, Bruce's 70th birthday bash at the historic Fox Theatre, where he was set to perform. The place was packed with over 5,000 fans ready to celebrate. You could practically feel the love in the air. As the night hit its peak, Bruce fired up the encore. Turn on your love light. Surrounded by more than 30 musicians, he pointed to 14-year-old guitar prodigy Brandon Niederauer to rip a solo. The crowd went wild. Then, right in the middle of that electric jam, Bruce dropped to one knee and leaned against a stage monitor. At first, everyone thought it was just Bruce being Bruce, part of the act. The music kept rolling, the crowd kept cheering. But moments later, concern began to spread across the stage, and the laughter slowly faded. When the music finally stopped, medics rushed in. Bruce was taken to the hospital, but the curtains had already closed. That night, Colonel Bruce Hampton passed, doing what he loved most, playing his heart out, surrounded by his friends, his music, and a whole lot of love. Fast forward 6 years later, not in Atlanta this time, but way across the globe in Johannesburg, South Africa. Another young and fearless musician would meet a similar fate under the bright lights. His name, Costa Titch. Born in 1995 as Konstantinos Tsobanoglu, Costa was a rising force in Amapiano and hip-hop, a dancer turned rapper with unmatched energy. The guy had moves for days and bars to match. On March 11th, 2023, Costa took the stage at Ultra South Africa in Johannesburg. This was one of the biggest nights of his career, a massive festival stacked with global electronic and Amapiano heavyweights. And Costa? He came to deliver. As the bass dropped, he launched into his set, a high-octane mix of bangers like Big Flexer and Superstar. The crowd was vibing, singing every word. Then, midway through Big Flexer, Costa suddenly stumbled, dropping to one knee like he was about to propose to the beat. At first, the audience thought it was part of the act, just another slick move in his bag of tricks. But then he stood back up, flashed that signature grin and kept performing like nothing happened. The crowd went wild, completely unaware that something was wrong. Moments later, as he moved across the stage again, Costa lost his balance and collapsed. This time, for real. The music stopped, his dancers rushed over, paramedics followed, and the lights dimmed as confusion spread through the venue. Despite every effort to revive him, Costa Titch was pronounced dead shortly after. He was just 28 years old. According to the official statement released by his family, the intense physical and emotional pressure likely triggered an abnormal heartbeat, which led to a seizure mid-performance. Yet tragedy under the spotlight isn't limited to the music world. Sometimes the danger comes not from performance, but from nature itself, and our attempt to control it. Dawn Brancheau, born April 16, 1969, was one of SeaWorld Orlando's most experienced and admired orca trainers. On February 24, 2010, she was working the Dine with Shamu program, where guests watched trainers interact with orcas near the poolside dining area. After the show ended, she continued a routine interaction with Tilikum, the park's largest orca. Around 2 p.m., Dawn lay at the edge of the pool on a shallow slide-out platform, gently interacting with Tilikum, something she had done countless times before. Then in an instant, Tilikum pulled her into the water. Some guests say he grabbed her ponytail, others say it was her arm. Either way, it happened fast. 1 second she was there, the next she was gone. For about 45 minutes, Tilikum refused to release her. SeaWorld's emergency team tried everything, food, nets, but nothing worked. Dawn tragically passed away from drowning and severe traumatic injuries. She was just 40 years old. And here's the kicker, this wasn't Tilikum's first deadly incident. He had already been involved in the deaths of others. Thousands of miles away in Indonesia, another performer would meet her tragic end. Irma Bule. Born in 1989, Irma was a 26-year-old dangdut singer, just starting to make waves. Raised in Karawang, West Java, Irma grew up in a humble home, surrounded by music and the buzz of village life. After junior high, she hit the dangdut scene, a genre that's basically Indonesia's answer to pop meets traditional beats, packed with rhythm and soul. She was a mother of 3, hustling hard to support her family with her voice. And let me tell you, the crowds loved her fearless energy and her signature move, the goyang ular, or snake dance. Yeah, you heard that right. In the dangdut world, competition was no joke. You had to bring the heat, go big or go home. Some singers danced with pythons, their mouths safely taped shut. For Irma, it became her thing. Wild, risky, unforgettable. Then came that fateful night in April 2016. Irma was performing at a village show in West Java, but this time, something was off. The snake she brought on stage, or the king cobra, wasn't part of her usual lineup. And here's the kicker, it was venomous. And its mouth wasn't taped. Mid-performance, Irma accidentally stepped on the cobra. Then, boom, it struck, sinking its fangs deep into her thigh. The crowd gasped. The snake handler sprinted in with an antidote, begging her to stop. But Irma, ever the showstopper, waved him off like, "Nah, I got this." She kept singing. For 45 minutes, she powered through, dancing, smiling, giving it her all, while the venom silently did its damage. Moments later, she collapsed. She began vomiting, then convulsing. The crowd went from party mode to panic mode. Paramedics rushed in, but it was too late. Irma Bule passed away before she even made it to the hospital. A performer so dedicated to her craft that not even a lethal snake bite could stop her show.